Yes, David. I think he's got a lot to offer, and I got to say that he was very passionate about his firearms, as I am also. So on some of those issues, David, I think I might take up your cause. We'll have a talk before you finish and make sure that if it's not settled, the challenge is taken up for the firearm owners in this country, that I will carry on that for you. And I do say I wish him all the best in the New South Wales state election. Although I am standing with my candidates in New South Wales, he's taken that challenge on. It is from his state, and in all sincerity, I do wish him all the best. He does have a lot to offer. If anything, it's about honesty and integrity, and that's what we need on the floor of Parliament. So, to David, all the best for the New South Wales elections, and it's been a pleasure to have worked with both Wacker Williams and David.
David has left a lasting mark on the Parliament during his time here. David's senatorial career began with the first speech that traced his philosophical bearings to those thinkers who shaped so much of the world that we live in today: Mill, Locke, Hume and many others. David has been consistently faithful to those ideas. He has defended the notion of individual freedom and enterprise with energy and intellectual rigour.
Senator Leyonehjelm has prosecuted his case with zeal. I want to thank him for his early and public stand on marriage equality. That was helpful to the debate. Whilst there are a number of areas of policy on which he and the Labor Party don't agree, I do want to record that Senator Leyonehjelm always dealt with me civilly, always dealt with me honestly, and was willing to listen to our arguments and manage differences professionally. And I thank him for that.
A very unique creature, and I think it is part of his personality, not his politics. That the moment he took his seat in 2014, the number of times he's had me completely cringe. How can you have this fundamentalism of complete honesty and courage every day, and just was quite happy to sit on his own? He had absolutely no friends. And mate, I have to say, we all got used to that. And you have very strong and courageous views, self-titled as a classic Liberal. I can remember in your maiden speech declaring your quest to convince Australians that governments should forego their governing, overtaxing and overriding ways, and you summed it up by stating that governments should be seeking protection of life, liberty and private property. So in short, you strongly believe that private citizens, as he tells me, should be left alone.
His dry sense of humour, I think, and his ability to look serious whilst being sarcastic, I think will be very much missed.
Actual heft to it. I'm going to miss some of his contributions in question time, because he has a way of both putting the questions in a humorous fashion, but also knowing I suppose, particularly outside of politics, our sore points, knowing where to push our buttons and make life difficult for ministers on different issues. I was trying to, I haven't got any examples because I was trying to Google some of his question times. I think there was one about the GST once, was a classic, but I to this day still can't spell his name. So I was struggling to Google those before and pull one up.
Can I now turn to David Leyonehjelm? It's been an absolute pleasure to know and to work with David. I enjoyed our many discussions, and especially, of course, because we're both cat lovers. David had 4 cats, I only have 1, so I did benefit from some veterinary advice as well along the way. But David now has 3 cats, and I'm sure that they'll be happy to welcome him home, along with his wife, of course, welcome him home. One thing about David, always stuck to his principles. He stood for what he believed in, and in this place, politicians come and go, but principles are enduring, and therefore standing by what you value and what you believe in is very important. And in the end, not everybody in things that we do, not everybody agrees with us. But if you're prepared and you stand by your principles, people respect you more when you're prepared to stand as somebody said, as Senator Scullion said, often David stood and was alone in the point of view that he put, but he was proud to do so because he was standing by his principles.
Just lastly, I'll just say for David, what I said to you earlier, I think I've been very privileged as a senator to be here at an extraordinary time in history for my party, and that's where my party has been in the balance of power in the Senate for the 6 years that I've been here, which means that we've been able to get up a number of Senate inquiries into things that we deeply believe in and are deeply passionate about, and go out there and collect evidence and go around the country. You've always supported the notion of the Senate's job is to inquire into matters, even if you often disagreed with what we're inquiring into. And I remember inquiries like the Joint Strike Fighter and others where you've consistently voted with the Greens on that principle, and your vote at many times was critical to us getting our inquiries up, so I thank you for that.